OK, let's get to England now. And interim boss Lee Carsley is considering starting captain Harry Kane on the bench for their crucial Nations League game against Greece tonight. For more on this, we can join our senior reporter Rob Dorset, who's at the England team hotel in Athens. Rob, good to see you as always. Is there a bit of a slight irony to this Harry Kane story, do you feel?
Absolutely there is, yeah. Look, Harry Kane was about as outspoken as I've ever heard him when he did that ITV interview yesterday, where he apparently seemed to be criticising some of his England teammates who he didn't think maybe were as committed to the cause as he has been. He said that England comes first above any club commitments as far as he's concerned, and there was an expectation that he wanted every other England player to do the same. Of course, there have been 9 withdrawals from this England squad of significant players, and so I think that's irked Harry Kane, perhaps more than it's irked the interim manager Lee Carsley. But then we hear this morning that potentially Harry Kane might not be starting this game. Has he got a little niggle of his own? We're not sure whether there's any injury concern over Harry Kane. But what I've been told is that over the last couple of days when England have been training at St George's Park, then Harry Kane and Ollie Watkins have both been used interchangeably, if you like, by Lee Carsley, who's tried a different few formations out. And it is possible, I'm told, that Lee Carsley might leave the England captain on the bench tonight and start with Ollie Watkins, which would be an extraordinary call, especially if Kane is fully fit and available. A huge call by Lee Carsley if he makes that decision, because of course Harry Kane has played 101 times for his country. He's the nation's all-time leading goal scorer with 68 goals, and this is a game England need to win. The thought that if Harry Kane is fit and available, he might not be starting, especially with so many other big-name absentees, it's almost unthinkable, isn't it?
It is a bit intriguing, shall we say. As you mentioned, they are without a host of senior players tonight. But I guess is that a good chance for some of the more inexperienced members of the squad to make a bit of an impression then?
That's the mantra in football, isn't it? It's what we expect every manager to say. And Vicky, yep, that's exactly what Lee Carsley said yesterday. He's not focusing on the absentees, he's focusing on the players that are here that can affect the results for England, which is perfectly reasonable and makes sense, doesn't it? But let's just show you the calibre of players that England are missing, because it makes for a heck of a strong 11, you have to say. There were 2 players that weren't available to Lee Carsley before the 9 withdrawals, so 11 in total. And look at that, we've put them into a starting 11, which looks incredibly strong, you have to say, with Alexander-Arnold at right back, Stones and Branthwaite in the middle, Levi Colwill at left back, Declan Rice and Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield. Look at those attacking options that England are without right now. Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden. Wow. That is one heck of a starting 11, which would probably compete with most nations in Europe right now for a starting place. None of those are available for Lee Carsley tonight, but that does give opportunities elsewhere. And it may well be that Noni Madueke gets a start on the right wing, because he's the only one in that natural position. He was selected ahead of Jared Bowen, who can play there as well. Jared Bowen only called up as late cover, Madueke in the squad from the start. So it looks like with Anthony Gordon starting on the left side, it could well be Noni Madueke on the right side of England's attack, whilst we still wonder who's going through the middle, whether it's Ollie Watkins or Harry Kane. So an interesting one, but opportunities for all of those maybe more fringe players to stake a place tonight, because of course Thomas Tuchel isn't here, isn't involved, hasn't had any selection issues or any part in the coaching, but all of these England players know that he takes over as the next men's senior manager on January the 1st. They'll all be desperate to impress him because they know he'll be watching from home.
Yes, of course he will be watching on. So just remind us, you know, it's a crucial game, isn't it? So what will the impact of tonight's result have on Mr. Tuchel?
It's a big impact for him and a big impact for England going forward, because look, they're in, unlike Scotland, the Group B of the Nations League. So no disrespect to Republic of Ireland and Greece and Finland that England are playing right now, but they want to be playing the sort of teams that Scotland are playing. It's better preparation for major international tournaments, isn't it? If you're playing the likes of France and Germany and Switzerland and Belgium, England aren't in that elite group. They desperately want to get back there. And if you look at the Group B2 table, which England are in right now, that defeat to Greece last month at Wembley has left England 3 points and 3 goals worse off than Greece. So quite simply, England have to win this game tonight if they're to have any hopes of finishing top of the group at the end of the group phase, which is after the Republic of Ireland game on Sunday, and overhauling Greece at the top. It's only the team that finishes top that is automatically promoted back to the top tier of English football. And from that perspective, it really matters to Lee Carsley and the England players, but it matters to Thomas Tuchel as well, because if England don't finish top, if they finish second in this group, they will have to play a Nations League playoff match to decide which group they're in for the next round of matches, and that will take place in March. They will be Thomas Tuchel's first games in charge rather than World Cup qualifiers. So for an awful lot of reasons tonight, not just because England want a bit of revenge for that humiliating 2-1 defeat to Greece at Wembley last month, not just because there are so many lesser capped players, shall we say, with an opportunity to impress with Thomas Tuchel in the distance, but also for those very practical reasons of the Nations League. England need a result tonight. They need to win, and they need to win well.